teachers, administration, and Killarney grads. Well, Killarney grads of 2009, we've made it. 5 years ago, when this all began, who would have thought we would have made it this far? I know this right now, that my parents are thinking, where did our little boy go? I know that all your parents are thinking similar thoughts too. Time has flown, and it's been great. But before more time flies, and I have to say goodbye, let me take you back to a simpler time, which we all remember. There really once was a world without Facebook. A time when chicks had fat in them, an era when clothes didn't match and girls had cooties. A place where we would rush outside to play grounders at lunch.
Don't do that!
This world may seem cheap to us now, nostalgic, but the reason we no longer play with Pokemon cards, have Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle backpacks, or listen to the Spice Girls is because we've grown up. We've by no means lost touch with our inner child. I'm not suggesting this at all. I still have a Spider-Man lunchbox, and on occasion still like to groove to NSYNC. We've just diverted our energy to other, more important things, our passions. This is one thing I really admire about the graduating class of 2009. We are passionate. In conversation with any given individual, I can tell there's something they care deeply about. It may be a sport or the arts, or becoming a doctor and helping people, but there's that one thing upon which every single one of us has put an immense amount of value. For us, growing up is following these passions and knowing that they are far more important than trick-or-treating, or trying to climb to the top of the jungle gym, or having a level 36 Blastoise. They are more important than knowing the spirit of 7,569, knowing when the Battle of Hastings took place, or knowing who wrote Crossing the Bar. And just for all of you who are curious on that, 87, 1066, and Alfred Lord Tennyson. I sincerely hope you learn that your passions are indeed more important than driving a Ferrari, boasting about how many letters are behind your name, or making your first million. Realizing this is what makes us ready to take on the real world. Knowing that what we love is really important, and that we must never consider giving it up. There are two ideas I'd like to present to you tonight. The first is simply this: Carpe diem. This is Latin for seize the day. Tonight we are at an intersection in our lives. We're on the top of a hill where we can peer back and ask ourselves, have I really come from there? At the pinnacle of this misty mountain, a far-off glimpse can be caught of the future and the many opportunities which await us. Do not hesitate to take them. Secondly, I charge you to explore. This may mean leaving home to chart rivers in the deepest, darkest jungles of Burma, or it may mean deciding to cut a day of classes to catch the Dave Matthews Band live in Seattle. I don't advocate cutting class, but you know what they say, you can retake a class, but never a weekend. Last time I checked, there were no classes on weekends. As the esteemed Mark Twain put it, 20 years from now, you will be more disappointed by the things you didn't do than by the things you did do. So, throw off the bow lines, sail away from the safe harbor, catch the trade winds in your sails, explore, dream, discover. Time you enjoy wasting, Killarney grads, is never a waste of time. If no one ever took the opportunities afforded them, seized the day, explored, dreamed, or even thought differently, the world would still be flat, and we could never venture on. Over the last 5 years, we have faced many challenges together. Do you remember our grade 8 retreat? The pouring rain? The soggy Subway sandwiches? And picking up trash on Jericho Beach? Good times. This year we were faced with a challenge much more difficult than navigating the hallways behind people who walked far too slowly. We had to decide what we were going to do with the rest of our lives. Despite this adversity that we have overcome, we've had some wonderful times together. I think upon the time spent loitering. No, loitering's not the best word. Savoring the atmosphere in the hallways after the second bell has gone. Or walking with friends to Starbucks and perhaps bumping into other members of the Killarney Caffeine Addicts Anonymous there. I'm not mentioning any names. Life will always have its ups and downs, but in the end, we will always have people there to pull us through. I don't mean Facebook friends or Sir Robert Gordon on the $100 bill, but real people who care for you and who will be there for you. These genuine friendships, not the trials we face, are what we will remember when we're old and wrinkled. We are not the only ones who have been on this journey for the last 5 years. Oh, shoot, I'm sorry. I didn't mean to use the journey metaphor. But while we're on the journey vein, don't stop believing. Yeah, back on track. There's some people who need to be thanked. Firstly, I want to thank my family. You guys have been awesome. Thank you for your support and the love you've shown me over the past 18 years and some odd months. You guys are awesome, and I love you all a lot. To all you parents out there, you've done a remarkable job putting up with us. Honestly, great job. To the teachers, your investment in time in us is paying off. Thank you for your encouragement and your patience. To the admin, Mr. Marr, Miss Sandra Welsh, Miss Garzitto, and Miss Philipchuk, thank you for putting up with us and for the care you've shown us, for making our school a better place, and for encouraging us to twinkle as brightly as we possibly can. To Mr. Bruno, Mr. Sheik, and Mrs. Burrows, thanks for coming tonight. Thank you for the care you showed us while you were at Killarney. We miss you a lot. Thank you, Ms. Koloff. You have been an advisor, a confidant, and a friend to us. Without your guidance, most of us would be going to university to pursue a degree in the history of situation comedies, or perhaps practical financial applications of Pac-Man. Thank you for helping us realize who we are and what we want to do. Words cannot express how grateful we are to all of you for all you have done for us. But I think a bunch of screaming and clapping could, so if you don't mind, let's just give them a round of applause. Look at us now. All of us have contributed to the past 5 years, and tonight would not be happening without all of you. Thanks. And finally, I want to thank you, the grads, for making this fun. Like I said before, the things we remember the most are the friendships we have forged. Thank you for your friendship from the bottom of my heart. It has been an honor to call you classmates for the past 5 years.